Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are gonna do a deck doctor. Deck doctor is a new series where I take a deck submitted from a person, and I will end the deck which is pretty much off meta, so really not that strong, and which has some cards that are not so strong, but I'll try to make it a bit more meta and as strong as it can possibly be. So, the deck we have here is called God Army, and it was submitted from Pod of Problems. So, as you can see, a God Army, because we have a bunch of gods, we have 3 of them, so actually, right off the bat I can say that probably we are gonna remove at least 1 of them, probably even 2. Then we have a God Poultice, and also a God Outrider. So probably the key cards here are the Head of Gods and the God Poultice. So both of them are pretty much off-meta cards, not that strong. So I'll not remove them, but any other thing is actually an auxiliary card for the main strategy of this deck, and so they can be actually replaced. So let's jump into the first match and see how it actually works. So in the first match we are up against the Green 71. With actually what it seems to be like an undermine coordinate deck. So we want to be aggressive on the board since the start, so we obviously start with an Head of Gods, and there is no point in playing the God Poultice, so we'll pass for now. God Outrider is really nice if we see that he starts to build damage, but since he's not doing that right now, we are gonna continue by playing Head of Gods, since we want to be aggressive first. Then we also want to go for a God Poultice, and since we can for another Head of Gods, and since he has the embezzles, I don't want him to get resources, so I just heal, even though the food is not actually that important. So he goes for 2 embezzles, but really probably we will not give him the chance to ever get a resource from us. So we are gonna spend those resources to attack, so that we don't give him the resources. So as you can see here, the problem is that the third Head of Gods is really expensive for what it does, so probably really not worth it. We go for another Head of Gods, obviously, so let's just attack another time so that we don't give him any resources at all. And as you can see here, if he does not have some mass removal spell, like for example Mayhem, which is available to Medris, we pretty much have won the game. So let's see. Since we are at 4, we actually want to go for the 4 Head of Gods, cost 1, because that will not give him any gold at all. So that's some use for the third copy of the Head of Gods. So let's see if we have lethal. Still not. So let's just go for a God Outrider, I suppose, to spend all our gold, or instead we could go for another Head of Gods, another time the third copy of it. So let's just heal, and at this point really probably a stratagem. Let's see if he has the Mayhem, if he plays the stratagem, obviously. If not, he pretty much lost the game. Let's see. He does kill an Head of Gods and go for a stratagem. He does not restock a Mayhem, and so that's probably GG. We just need to get 2 resources. Attacking once, obviously. Right now 4, so probably he did survive. Let's see. No, it wasn't enough, so GG. Since we won, let's try another match. Another time we are up against a Green 71, but he did change deck, he went for Isadora. Probably he will run a Malediction, so we want to be as fast as possible. So we can start off with an Orphan Gang, to actually start off the pressure. And as you can see here, the third copy of the Head of Gods is really a dead card, because spending 4 on the first turn for an Head of Gods is really expensive, but let's see. There is no point in playing the God Outrider, because he actually has lead the charge, and he will go for it next turn. So instead I probably want to go for a Stampede, to actually be as aggressive as possible, as I said. We do restock another Stampede, so that's actually nice. The God Poultice would be really nice if we start to get a bunch of gods into play. So obviously we want to keep the Stampede. Let's see. We do restock another Herd of Gods. As I said, another God Poultice would be better. It does give us an Usury, and probably I wouldn't go for it, even another one. So if he plays the first, he can actually go for the second, but I would have not gone for the first Usury at all, because that gives us a pretty strong turn, and actually we can now defend our board from his attacks, since he did not have the lead the charge. Actually, that was a misplay. I missed 2 damages. Let's see if we lose because of that. And the misplay is obviously that the Stampede attacks for each ally we have, including our hero. And I should have played the coin that summons the Conjured Argret first, and see if it did summon, and then play the Stampedes. So he does redraw the lead the charge. He goes another time for the Usury. So this will probably be our last turn. And then we'll go really negative on gold. So let's just grab the Herd of Gold while we can. We do summon a Berserker, so that's nice. And right now, as you can see, we are at -4 gold. So definitely pretty hard to recover from this situation. So we want to play the God Outrider, obviously, but we want to keep the Stampede for when we actually have some allies into play. -8 gold. So as I said, pretty much our last turn it was. Let's pass another time. So right now we just need for him to replay some usuries, so that he will give us another turn, and then actually re-go pretty negative another time. If we do actually get a good turn, we can actually probably win, because he's pretty low on health. If we play all our allies and get a Stampede out, that's probably nice for us. Let's see if the second charm activates. It did not. The Orphan Gang bumping out of the bank is actually pretty bad, but we do redraw the other one, so we actually can convert those 2 foods into attacks. He does try to kill the God Outrider. He does take some damages in the process. So we also did restock the Feast, which is pretty good. We can go for the God Poultice with the magic, and we probably want to, because having it in the deck is pretty strong. So let's also convert those 2 foods into attacks while we can. So that's a pretty nice turn we have right here, because we can go for an Herd of God, then the God Poultice, which will probably redraw another card for us. And we also have another Stampede. Probably I would not have played the Usuries, and that will probably cost him the game. Let's see. He does kill our allies, but we can redraw them with the Feast and play a bunch more. So let's just go for all the gods, then play the God Poultice, play other gods. Then we probably have an Orphan Gang, so let's just, we obviously have an Orphan Gang, so let's do that for other attacks, since we want to kill him this turn, and that's GG. So the deck is performing pretty well, but actually I think it could be faster. So we have seen that the Rite of Brood is pretty much useless in this deck, because we are not playing that many cards in a turn. We are actually building a board which our opponent hopefully can't remove, and then we just win the game. So probably the Rite of Brood will go out. Also the Fertility Offering, it's not that bad, but probably the only good target for the Fertility Offering is the God Outrider. So I'm not sure how much I will to play. I want to play the Fertility Offering. Also, since if we want to copy a bunch of allies, we probably want to run a Scrivener, but then the Scrivener would only activate for the Fertility Offering, so I don't think it's worth it, this combo, to give 2 cards into our deck just for this combo, while the only good target is the God Outrider. So probably Fertility Offering will go out. Then, as I say, the 3rd Head of Gods is not necessary at all, so let's just remove it. But I do like the Stampedes. You actually saw that it's pretty strong with the Head of Gods, because the Head of Gods is probably the best card in the gold for health ratio, because obviously, yes, the Head of Rats is the best, because it's 1/0, so it's actually infinite value for the gold it costs and the health it has. But 1 health is too squishy, too weak, and so it's probably not gonna to be considered. Then we have the Head of Gods, which maxed is 2/2, so it's actually 1. Then we have the Head of Boars, which is 4/3, so actually 3/4, so it's a bit less than 1 health per cost. And then we have the Auroch, which has 4/6, so it's actually like the Head of Boars, I think. So it's actually a bit worse. So, as I say, the Head of Gods for that reason is the best health over cost ratio. So it's actually your opponent doesn't actually want to remove the Head of Gods, and also we have a bunch of ways to redraw them. So the Head of Gods will probably be on the board consistently, and so the Stampedes is really strong. So I probably want to all that to say that I want to add a Stampede. And then probably, since we went for such a Ali-based deck, we probably want to have even more ways to redraw our stuff. And I think that an Overseer Red Catcher combo is preferable to adding, for example, another Feast or a Repopulate. So let's go for it. And also, in the same way, probably we'll have a bunch of ways to get a bunch of economy. And so, also a bunch of allies, thanks to the God Poultice. So you probably want to have a Repopulate instead of a Feast. So let's see. Let's add the Repopulate. And probably, I don't know if it's better to have another God Poultice and not the Head of Gods. It's true that we want to start with the Head of Gods on the first turns, on the early game, and not the God Poultice. It's actually a very slower opening. But probably I'm a bit confident that we want to just get the 2 Head of Gods cost, and then play the God Poultices. So let's try that, but probably we will we could reintroduce the second Head of Gods for another card. So let's try that. So in this match we are up against Antonio R39, which is definitely a very strong player. So let's see how this deck performs against a worthy opponent. So we want to probably start by playing the Fecund Charm and see if it activates. It does not. So we probably want to go for a God Poultice to restock the Head of Gods and start getting resources and actually grow a board. So he goes for a Head of Boars and sack it. And it does kill the Head of Gods, but that's the problem with the Head of Gods, that they are really expensive to kill, and you do not get so much value for killing them. So let's just grab another Head of Gods. And right now the Stampede is worth 3 attacks per turn, actually per time it is played, so definitely pretty strong. Let's see if he removes them. He does, but we can redraw it with the God Poultice, so I don't know if that was actually a pretty good move. Let's see, we also can go for another one. And then let's just pass. So the redrawing 2 God Poultices is pretty good. And actually we could go for a Stampede next turn. He does get some money. Let's see if he kills them. He does. So probably I don't want to do the God Poultices right now. And also I don't mind the Red Catcher being put out of the bank. So let's just wait. Now that I have at least an Head of Gods, it's much more reasonable to do that. the Goat Outrider will be put out of the deck, so that's a bit troublesome. So probably let's start first with the other Goat Poultice in the bank, but we did not get the economy to play another card, obviously. So right now I don't want the Stampede to be bumped out at all, so let's just buy another Herd of Goats. And we still do not get 3 coins slash magic to play the Stampede, but that's fine. If it does not get out of the bank, it's still fine. So right now it's a bit troublesome, because we actually don't want to play anything, and if we do not have any coins to grab the Stampede, so it's pretty much inevitable that the Stampede will go out of the bank, so that's unfortunate, but we can't have whatever we want. So let's just go for an Herd of Goats and then play another Goat Poultice to just put some more Herd of Goats out, and then let's just pass. So right now we want the Stampedes and probably the Ratcatcher slash Overseer combo, because we have a very good amount of goats into the deck. Right now we just want to redraw them as many times as possible. If it does not actually kill us before we do our own thing. It's pretty close. So let's do another Herd of Goats. Probably the Orphan Gang is not useful in this matchup, because as you can see actually has too much health at this point, so it's a matter of getting as much value as possible and then just having such a huge board that it can't clear it consistently at least, and then just win. So I don't want to go for another Goat Poultice. Probably the Herd of Goat is better, even though the Goat Poultice was actually better value, but I don't want to get so many cards in my deck. Actually no, the Goat Poultice was just better, so misplayed by me. Let's see if he can kill us. Still not, but he's pretty close. Let's see if we can grab a Stampede, even though he has 3 Herd of Goats out, so it's pretty hard to remove that stuff. We still don't get the Stampede. Actually we can, but we want to, that's the question. Probably not, because as I said, we don't want the Herd of Boards to be killed. We actually would want to kill all of them without spending too many resources, and that's not the case. So since we can't remove all of them, probably we don't want to, but he has a strong turn. Probably will kill us, so it's better to kill them. We miss 1, so that's fine. Let's just heal, since we do not have any better use to food. Actually I was in such a timer. Probably I went to 1-2 times, but that's fine. We did manage to do our own thing. So right now a pretty passive turn, and the Stampede isn't even bumping out of the bank, so that's fine. He does not have any allies, and probably right now his deck is pretty much clumped with so many cards, and he wants to draw the board, and he can't. So right now let's just go for a Stampede right now. Also we do get a Berserker, which is nice, and also go obviously for another Herd of Goats, another Goat Poultice, and right now we are growing a pretty good board. We are drawing a bunch of goats, so that's really nice, and it does not have a really good way of interacting with it, because as you can see, Bloodlust is pretty weak against the goats, as compared, for example, to a Colossal Aurochs or any 5 health minion, ally, I could say. Let's see if he can kill us. He's really close. And that's GG. So a bit unlucky for us, but I probably think that the deck performed well. So I probably want to see another game and see how it goes. So another time against Antonio. Let's see this time how it works. So we probably want to be a bit aggressive and start with an Orphan Gang. And then probably go next turn for a Goat Outrider. I could have gone for an Overseer plus Orphan Gang, but really, just one more attack is not worth the 4 cost, which actually put us 1 turn away for whatever we want to buy. And probably I want to go for the Overseer when we actually have a bunch of allies in the deck, and also combo it with the Ratcatcher so we can get a bunch of them out. So let's just go for an Orphan Gang and then just pass. So we are being a bit aggressive. So he goes for the Lepers, and right now we want to go for the God Outrider to counter the Leper, hopefully. So let's just see if the God Outrider survives. It does, so that's really nice. I probably should have played the Fecund Charm, because since he's shielded, that would have been pretty nice to grab the magic. And he also could have procced, like right now. So I probably want to go for a Stampede, being a little aggressive, or build a board even wider. Probably the second, so let's just go for the Orphan Gang and heal the God Outrider, since we can. Next turn we probably want to go for a God Poultice, or start to put so much pressure with all those Stampedes, since we also did restock another one. So let's just go for a Stampede and actually be very aggressive. If we do redraw the Stampede and play the other one next turn, that's probably GG. We also do restock another one. The God Outrider obviously dies, so we have to slow down a bit right now. The Lepers is pretty sick against this matchup, so we probably want to go for our God Poultice. We do restock the Ratcatcher, so we can go for the combo with the Overseer, but we actually don't have the gold for that, so we have to wait. Or we could grab a Stampede to actually do that later, but probably there is no point in doing that. Actually, it procs, so we can go for an Overseer, but it will die, but probably we will then redraw it in the later turns. So I probably want to get him right now, and then we'll see. So the Sacrificial Lamb, he doesn't have a way to sack it. Actually, yes, with the Feast, so I probably want to kill that, since it's just 1 resource anyway, and if I did not do that, that would have been 2 attacks for him. So, pretty good move, in my opinion. So right now we want to redraw the Overseer, so that we can actually combo it with Ratcatcher. So right now the God Outrider plus the Ratcatcher combo is really nice, because we have a way to shield our own stuff. I don't want to play the Stampede, because that would actually put our God Outrider in danger. So let's just pass for now. The God Outrider survives, so that's very good. Let's see if the Serpent Seals activates. They do not, so pretty nice for us. He do restock the Redoubt's Loader, so next turn he will do stuff. So right now I want to go for the Orphan Gang. Let's see if the God Outrider survives. It does survive, so the God Outrider is really sick. Let's go for a God Poultice. Grab the Heart of God. There is no point in playing another God Poultice, since we just have 1 God in the play and we do not have any other in the deck. Right now we want to go for the God Poultice, because we can. We want to heal the God Outrider, obviously. Then let's go for a Stampede. We are pretty close to killing him. Probably I don't want to heal the Heart of Gods, so let's just pass. And really, we do have a counter to this strategy, because Lepers, as I said, is very, very strong against non-targeted attacks, like, for example, Orphan Gang or Stampede, and is weak to targeted attacks, like, for example, the Resource one. So it does kill us our board, but that's fine. Let's just heal, because I'm worried about a sick turn with all those board fetishes. And also let's just put an Herd of Goats out to actually shield us even more. As you can see right now he's attacking, and that's GG. Another time pretty unlucky, but probably we can, as I can say, make the deck better. I saw that the Overseer Red Catcher combo is probably too costly and a bit inconsistent. It's also a 2 combo cards, and if we do not get the Red Catcher, the Overseer is pretty much useless. It's nice to have some activations on play, but really we do not have some really good cards that have a really good on-play effect, like for example the on-turn effect, like for example Colossal Aurochs or any other stuff, because the Overseer is really strong if every time we play it, it attacks for 5, but really we are just getting some resources or just one attack. It would have been better with the Rat Catcher, as I said, but if we do not give him, the Overseer is pretty much useless. So I probably want to shift from that strategy, and instead also the Rat Catcher, probably the Rat Catcher is still fine. I do like the 2 Goat Poultices. Probably the second Herd of Goats is still not worth it. Probably a second copy of Repopulate to be more consistent and actually to redraw our own stuff better, since the Overseer Red Catcher combo was here for that purpose. So let's try that. Probably another thing that I will probably go to is a Carnage, just to be a bit faster when we do grow our own board with a bunch of Herd of Goats. Probably we could have finished the game if we had a Carnage, and the Stampede plus Carnage combo is actually probably lethal most of the times. But probably I want to go first for a second copy of Repopulate and see how it goes. So in our next match we are up against Raistlin with probably what it seems to be a Malediction Isadora. So probably that's a bit another time a counter to our strategy, but anyway we just want to go for our plan as always. So just grow a board and start off with Orphan Gang and Herd of Goats. Also a Goat Poultice into the deck. We also do have both of the Repopulates, so probably I don't want both of them. So I don't mind one of them being bumped out of the deck. Going for the not upgraded one Goat Poultice means that every time we have to spend 1 more gold for all the Herd of Goats that we will gain out of it, but that's fine. We can only do that, and we obviously don't want to be passive. So right now he does play a bunker, so we obviously want to remove that. And we can, so obviously we want to do that. So probably the Goat Outrider is not that strong in this matchup, because he also has the lead the charge, but it's strong against the Malediction because we actually get a bunch of Retaliates. So I don't know, probably I want to go for it, since also even though the lead the charge has elude intercept, ignores intercept, he is still a body, so he can actually eat that. So obviously let's go for an Orphan Gang and just remove the Rampart, since probably I should have not, but yeah, probably I should have not, because I just had to do that when I could actually kill him, but that's fine. Let's just pass. And also I should have saved those resources for when example he does replay a bunker, and yeah, that was a misplay because I just gave him a chance to redraw it, and there was actually no point in removing it in the first place. Probably should have put it at 1 intercept left, but that's fine. Let's see if this misplay cost us the game. So I obviously want to go for a Stampede, since we have a pretty huge board. Another time I misplayed, I should have played the Fecund Charm first and see if I could get another 1 attack. So as you can see, the Goat Outrider did attack for some huge amounts. If just one of our allies survives, we can go for a Repopulate, hopefully, and yes, we can, so really good. Right now we do want to go for the attacks for the Orphan Gang, since if we hit his face, is actually a bit valuable, and we probably will have the resources to deal with his bunker and stuff. Also the Rat Catcher is really nice. If we just grab some other Goat Outriders, that will be obviously better. So we can go for the Rat Catcher, but we can go for another Herd of Goats, and probably I'm happy with that. since it's 1 more resource per turn and also 1 more resource per goat poultice played. So, I want to go for the goat poultice. Probably, let's see if I do have another head of goats. We do not. But I would have played the rat catcher anyway, so that's not a big deal. Let's go for a second orphan gang. There is no point in attacking with the orphan gang, since we actually can't kill him, because it's at 22 health, and we do not have the resources to kill him. We are at 18, so that's just fine. Let's pass. The Goat Outrider single-handedly took the lead charge and did retaliate all the times. Overpowered Goat Outrider. So right now I probably can kill him, and so that's GG. He did concede. GG. So in the next match we are up against Duffer 88. A Moggash deck for what it seems, and he also does run the lepers, so counter to our strategy, but that's fine. There is nothing we can do really in this turn. Even if we play the goat poultice, we will not have the coins for the goat it will restock. And also, if I can, I don't want to go for the second goat poultice. It is here just for consistency, if the other one doesn't show up. But if I can wait, I will gladly do that. Let's see if we go for the lepers. It does not, so let's just go for an orphan gang while we can. We will probably go for it next turn to counter our orphan gang. Right now we can go for a Herd of Gods, so let's just go for it. And probably it could shield for the retaliate of the leper, so let's try that. That was probably the only reason why I did get it out, to just get a chance at him shielding for the other two, but he went for a sacking thing. So let's just go for an orphan gang to just have a body out that will threaten him. He does get a berserker, so that would have died anyway. So we do get the Goat Outrider, which is really nice. Let's also go for a Goat Poultice to just have even more goats. And probably we want to go for a Repopulate, because we have the Orphan Gangs. We can also kill the Herd of Wars, and we probably want to go for it since he has a Feast. He also has another one in the hand, but that was probably a misplay. I don't know, I don't remember how many allies he has in his deck. Let's see if he goes for the Feast. He does go for the lepers. So this match is looking pretty bad for us, and probably the dead draw of the second Repopulate is a bit weak. Probably it's better if we go for a Carnage, but really we do not have so many ways to increase our board. So that's probably the problem. We should rely too much on the Goat Poultices. We should try some other ways to kill the stuff. Let's see if we can Division Coin procs, so we can go for a Goat Rider, and we can. So really good. You can see we have definitely too many Repopulates, and they often are dead cards. We just are fine probably with just one of it in the deck, and having two of them in the bank is really bad, because we actually have two bad and dead restocks. So probably that could even be GG. Moggash is really well known to be very fast. Let's see if they control the proc, so we could play the Repopulate on him, but he did not. Let's see. He probably could go for a kill. 3 of lethal. So we obviously want to go for a Goat Outrider. Would we just use the Repopulate on the Goat Outrider to get some other stuff? Let's try that. So we do get some Herd of Goats. We can play the Stampede. Probably that was the only reason why I did that. Let's also go for a Goat Poultice and hopefully get something to heal, but we did not get any. If he does get some resources on the Herd of Boars, that's probably GG. Let's see. He does suck the lepers instead, so we still are alive. Not for much, I suppose. So let's go for an herd of goats just to shield us a bit from his attacks and also heal, probably. Probably I want to go to make the herd of boars at 1 health. If the serpent seal activates, that's the only reason. But he had another one in the hand, probably I didn't even see that, so that there was no point in doing that. So right now the goat poultice will draw us an herd of goats, and we can sack it with repopulate, and also get the goat outrider back, so that's nice. Let's just kill the herd of boars, and we can't do anything else, so let's just pass. The goat outrider did survive a really huge amount of attacks, and that's very nice. But I want to go for another one, and so let's just wait for the goat outrider. There was no point in playing the orphan gang, since that would have not done anything, but that's GG. And obviously we were in a pretty bad situation after all, so there was not a big hope for us winning. So as I said, the second repopulate is a bit too much, and we actually want instead some ways to grow our board even more. So let's see, probably another goat poultice is too much. I do like the goat outrider because it helps us to maintain our board at least, and it's a really strong one. Probably instead of the second goat outrider, the shepherd is a pretty good addition, because it actually acts a bit like the goat outrider, and also if we have at least 3 goats, that's it's like a 3 or even more goats into play, so it acts like a big goat, so probably I do like that. Let's try the shepherd to actually grow our economy, our board, sorry, even more. Let's try that. So in this match we are up another time against Raistlin. It does start with an usury, so we probably want to go for an orphan gang and goat outrider, and probably since we are at it, even a stampede could be fine. We are starting with 3 attacks per turn, actually 4 with the orphan gang if we do redraw the stampede. So right now he goes for a ballista. Probably I should have waited so that I could kill that with the stampede, so actually a bit of a misplay. But the goat outrider did kill it and also did survive, not for long. So let's see if we can regrab the goat outrider with the rat catcher. We do get the orphan gang, so that's unlucky, but it's still fine. We do redraw another goat outrider, and also we have a shepherd if we actually manage to get some goats out. So right now there is probably no way we are going to kill the ballista, at least for now, since he's behind a rampart. He does play 2 usuries, so we can actually go outside of the negative gold, for now at least, and it's really important that we kill some of his stuff. So I probably want to go for a goat outrider, just to get an ally in play. And let's see, we are at 9 gold, and the combo does cost, the goat poultice plus another head of goats plus the stampede. It's one of what we have right now, so probably we just go for the stampedes and then use the resources left to kill this stuff. A bit expensive, but we can't let him have a bunker this early in the match, at least. Also with a knight threatening his way in the board. So the Conjured Argret did proc, so that's really useful. We do obviously keep the Stampede for killing the bunker, but probably we can't kill her right now. We did get some resources that we could use with the Orphan Gang, but obviously we can't. So right now we are in a bit troublesome situation. I don't know why he didn't went for the second ballista. He could have put so much more pressure on us. Probably I don't want to keep the stampede because I actually want to redraw my stuff. Let's see if he does replay his usuries. He does not, and also does not, probably a misplay, a misclick at least. He probably clicked the spacebar by mistake. So let's just put the Goat Outrider to slow him down a bit. Probably he wants to go for an infinite. I don't know if that's useful. So let's see, we will attack for 6. And it's obviously not enough, but we could play 1. Probably with the retaliates of the knights, that could be, as I can say, enough. So yeah, it was indeed. So let's just kill the ballista, I suppose. The bureaucrat is not that useful in the first place because we do not have any resources. But probably I could have killed the bureaucrat and heal the Goat Outrider also. So yeah, that was a possibility. He does not go for the usury, so that's the right play, in my opinion. Let's go for the Orphan Gang attack. But right now he has to play something, or yeah, he will not do anything from now on, since he does not have the goal to purchase any stuff. So probably his infinite attempt went wrong. He is though at 9 coins, so he just need 2 more to go infinite. So we just need to win as fast as possible. So we want to go obviously for all our stuff as much as we can. So let's grab also a Goat Outrider. Let's go for another Rat Catcher to increase even more our ally count. Let's play the second charm first this time, and then we can start putting so much pressure with the Stampedes. And also we will redraw a bunch of other allies in the process. Let's see if manages to do something. So the Rat Catcher survives, so we do redraw a bunch of stuff. Next turn he still can't go infinite because he has only 2 usuries, and he can because he has a ballista. So that's probably GG. There is nothing we can do about it. Let's try to kill him this turn, but there is no way, and so that's GG. He did pass, but it was lethal and probably he didn't know, so there was no point in playing this game. So the Shepherd did not shine in this game, but still we are having a bit of trouble on growing our board. Actually, we do not have that many cards which actually do something to grow our economy. Probably 2 Stampedes are a bit too much, and probably I will shift from it and add the Herd of Goats as before, as it was in the beginning. Or probably the Shepherd is a bit unneeded. Probably I want to go for the Herd of Goats in the place of the Shepherd, and I will keep the Stampedes to actually be very threatening and actually be even more consistent. So let's try that. Probably the Shepherd is a bit too slow anyway. So in this match we are up against Commander M as Mogesh. For what it seems like a not that aggressive deck. So let's see in this matchup how it works. We still not start with any resource producing stuff. So probably, but I don't want the Goat Outrider to be bumped out of the bank. So probably I want to go for a Stampede, even if it's just for 1 attack. I do want a Stampede anyway in my deck, so that's fine to grab it right now. And probably for the same reason, let's go for another one. Let's try that. So we do get an Orphan Gang, finally. Let's see if he goes for a Goat Outrider. He does, to counter the possible Orphan Gang. But anyway, I'll go for it anyway, as I say. Let's probably also play the Stampede. The Goat Outrider did not even take 1 point of damage. That's unfortunate. So the Scrivener is not troublesome right now because he does not have any thing to really draw from the deck. So let's just go for an Orphan Gang, and hopefully it will hit the Orphan Gang and not the Conjured Argret, and it did, so that's good. Probably there is no way of saving the God Outrider to be bumped out of the deck, so let's just go with that. Let's go for an Herd of Goats, and since our opponent is not being aggressive at all, I don't mind getting passive units that those generate resources and does not attack. So still being pretty passive, so we'll just continue by spamming goats on the board, and if he will start to interact with our board, we will do something then. So the Battling Crown does kill the Conjured Argret. That's unfortunate. He does kill the Herd of Goats. Sorry, the God Outrider. We probably want to heal our Herd of Goats, because we can. Then also we can go for a pretty aggressive turn, where we go for the Ratcatcher to fetch our Orphan Gang, and then play probably 2 Stampedes. That's very close to lethal. I actually didn't think we were that close, and probably next turn it's GG if it does not do anything, but probably even if it does, we have 2 Stampedes, so yeah, that's GG. But still, the problem with this deck is really that we do not have any ways to build our board fastly enough. And probably the Ratcatcher is even that needed, because really we do not have so many allies. It's too slow, so probably let's remove the Ratcatcher. One Repopulate is fine, in my opinion. So what do we want to get? So the Goat Poultices can be grabbed from the Scrivener, so that's bad. We don't need the Scrivener. Probably the Shepherd, as I said, is too slow. The Gold Panners could be a good addition to just increase our economy a bit, but the Herd of Goats already do that pretty nicely. So let's see. As they say, the Fertility Offering is not that much valuable, so there really are not so many great options with this. Probably a Rat Ointment could be nice, because it is spammy. It could give us a way to grow our board a bit. Also, the Herd of Rats are really cheap and also help us slow down the opponent. And then if we gain a War Rat, that's very aggressive. It works well with our plan to just spam the board. I don't know if this shifts the meaning of this deck too much, because it is meant to be a goat deck, but really it's only 1 card out of 10, and it's actually an alternative way to go for the deck, and I really think that this helps a lot the deck, so probably let's go for a Rat Ointment. It actually is a better replacement for the 3rd Goat Poultice, which is too expensive. We just have to pay 8 gold to get only 1 Herd of Goats, so really that's too expensive. So instead of that, we just run the Rat Ointment just for the fact of spamming the board, which is a goat team. So let's just try that. And also makes the deck really faster, and that's what we need. So we are still against Commander M with that mid-range deck. So we really are a bit aggro, probably. We are really aggro. So let's just start with the Herd of Goats, obviously. And if I can, I want to wait to go for the Goat Poultice as long as possible. So if he does not kill the Herd of Goats, which he does with the Battling Crown, I should shut up really, because whatever I say, it happens. So anyway, let's go for the Goat Poultice right now, because we do have an Herd of Goat in the deck already, and that's a really nice move, instead of the Orphan Gang, which does really do not that much, because he does not kill the Herd of Boar. So right now we probably want to go for the Orphan Gang to kill the Conjured Argret. We could obviously kill it with the magic we have, but I prefer to not do that until it's really needed. So it does kill something. Probably we will go for a goat poultice to redraw our head of goats and get another one in the bank. And we probably actually play it. It costs 3 magic, which is a lot, but in the early game we, as I said, and which is obvious, we want to build our board. So it does kill a bit of our board, but we do have the repopulate to redraw some stuff. And also if the Fecund Charm did activate, we could have done that this turn, but it didn't, so it's fine. So I don't want the Goat Outrider to bump out of the deck, and still wish the Fecund Charm did not activate. But right now we can go for a Goat Outrider, and since there are no better options, I want to go for it right now. And probably let's just play the Goat Poultice just to get the Erd. So he does kill the Goat Outrider, and probably also the Herd of Goats. He does. So let's just grab another one, and this is really a slow matchup, but it's fine for us, because the more the game goes on, the better our deck becomes. So we are just one off from the repopulate. So let's just go for a Rat Ointment, probably, because we want to have at least one in our deck. So let's see, we do get the Conjured Argret, so we can go for a repopulate on it, and that's really nice, a nice combo to have, to just spawn an alley like this for the repopulate. So he's growing a pretty threatening board of boars. So we want to kill some of them because of the Boar Unguent, which actually acts a bit like Stampede with all those boars. Then there is no point in playing the Rat Ointment. We don't want too many Herd of Rats, and instead I want to have only one so that I can sack it when we do get both of them in the hand, but not anymore, so there is no point in playing it. He is pretty close to lethal. He probably is. Let's see, he did not go for it. So let's just redraw a bunch of goats, I suppose, and also grab another goat poultice. Still we want to go for other herd of goats, and probably we can kill a bit of his stuff with the Orphan Gang. So let's just grab him and kill 2 of his boars. He's pretty close to kill us, but we can't do really anything about that. Probably all our health on our allies will shield us enough. But he has 4 Sacred Tortoises and a Rite of Passage, so that's probably GG. Yeah, that's GG. So I don't know where the problem really is. Probably we get too many bad draws to start off. Probably the Orphan Gang is not that needed. We don't want to be aggressive. We want to build our board as much as possible. So probably a Gold Panners is better for that reason. Probably even a Scavenger is not that bad to actually have that 50% chance to return to hand, which is pretty nice. So let's try the Scavenger instead. Yes, I think it's much better than the Orphan Gang, because it has that versatility to be aggressive if it gets the skull or the magic, or be economic in the start with the magic and the gold, obviously. So let's try that. So we are another time against Ricelin, so let's just start off, and right now we do get a better opening hand. We can go for an Herd of Goats and also a Scavenger, so let's go for it. We can also go for a rat ointment, and really, since we get such a good start, we probably want to go for it, to just slow him down considerably, hopefully. So let's see, he can kill a scavenger or the herd of rats, he goes for that, so really I do like this. Then let's go for another scavenger, and probably the goat poultice. We can probably go for the other herd of goats, but we do have a free resource from the one we already have in the board, sorry. So we do get another rat ointment. When we probably will redraw the other herd of rats, that will be a pretty nice move. Let's see if we get a killing resource from the herd of goat. We do, so we can kill the bunker. That's really nice, because otherwise that will be pretty bad. Let's go for another herd of goats to actually even more increase our board. So it goes for an usury, probably a bad move, since we can go for a rat ointment and probably even another herd of rats. And I say that I didn't want to have too many of them in the deck, because it really slowed down our deck considerably, but right now we are going for a fast win, so let's just try it. So it does not kill the war rat, and probably with that we can kill the ballista, which we obviously want to do that. Then let's grab another scavenger, and really at this time we are pretty much all in. We either win in the beginning, or we do not win at all. I didn't see the malediction, that's really unfortunate. So right now we need the repopulate to recover from this bad situation. We will just keep the rat for when it's better to use it. So right now we still don't want to... I was going to say that we wanted to rebuild our board, but with the malediction there is really not that much point in doing that. So probably I want to play another scavenger, because it can be it can survive from the malediction, but other than that let's just pass. And he did play it, which is good, because I didn't want him to pocket it, so I actually wanted to give him a reason to play it, but to not give him too much value for him playing that. So let's go for an herd of rat and convert it into a war rat. Then we also probably want to go for another rat ointment to just be a bit aggressive. And also let's just grab another herd of goats. Be as aggressive as possible. Let's see if he clears our board. So at this point, really, we are in a very bad situation. We even can't kill the bunker, obviously, because he has a knight even in play. At this point, we just really need badly the repopulate. So let's see, we can go for a good turn, and he also did not redraw the malediction. So let's see. Let's convert a bit of herd of rats into war rats, which are considerably better. Let's also grab a bunch of herd of goats. We don't have the money to grab another herd of goats, but that's fine. We also can still remove the bunkers, so we'll just let them be. As long as he does not redraw the malediction, we are fine. It's a bit unlikely that he does not redraw it, but it is possible, and as I say, that he did restock it, so that's fine. Let's just wait for the populate, and we do get the repopulate. Really, whatever I say, it happens. So let's just say that we win this game right now. He's playing really badly. I don't know why he keeps all these coins and does not even go for the infinite. But anyway, he feels happy with that. We are even happier than him. We still don't have the economy for the repopulate. Let's just try to get a bunch of magic from the gods. We do not. So let's just spam the board with some other herd of goats, and hopefully let's go for the repopulate next turn. He's playing really badly. I don't know if he's BMing us or whatever. But let's see. So let's just go for another war rat, I suppose. There is no point in grabbing even more herd of rats, but at this point I'm just hoping for a stampede to actually recover from this situation a bit. There is not even so much point in killing the punkers, so let's just wait. We do get a stampede. Is he going for the infinite finally? Yes, he is, and so that's GG. So probably the rat ointment wasn't a good addition at all, because it only slow our deck in the late game. So probably you want to be a bit more value oriented. Probably let's try another thing. Let's just shift from the stampede aggressiveness and just go for spamming a bunch of herds. So probably let's reintroduce the shepherd. And probably let's go for, at this point, if we do have added the shepherd and the goat outrider, the fertility offering could gain value in the late game and could help us in the early game to just start our chain off. So probably let's reintroduce the fertility, or probably the ceremonial dance isn't even that bad, because it actually doubles our buys, which is probably better. So let's just grab a ceremonial dance, and if we add the ceremonial dance, then the scrivener gets a bit better. Is it better than the other options we have? Probably better than the other herd of goat. It's really good in the early game to go for a ceremonial dance and the scrivener to redraw their ceremonial dance, and then hoping to redraw the ceremonial dance in the later stages. So probably let's try this alternative way to build this deck. A bit more value oriented, with some win condition like the stampedes, and but mainly the win condition is just to overflow the board and just win from resource gain from the shepherds and the herd of goats with the goat poultices some of the times. Probably the second goat poultice isn't needed at this point, but still, yeah, I think it is. It just is so good to just start off our chain of herd of goats and then giving us value in the later stages. Let's try that. So, we are right now matched up against Monkfish AD with a Madris deck. We still didn't get to be matched up against a Madris. So, probably we want to start off, obviously, with a Scavenger. And we can't kill the assassin, so let's just be hit. Let's see if he goes on the hand, and it goes. So we can go for a stampede to kill his stuff. Let's see. Let's see if we summon something. We do not. We don't kill the assassin, but that's fine. It's probably better that we kill the Conjured Argret instead of the assassin, because in the early game we value more economy rather than attacks. The attacks only count when we want to kill our opponent, so it's better to not give him magic, and it's better if he attacks us instead. So he goes for a Belladonna. Let's just replay the scavengers, two of them. We can kill the assassin, so we probably want to, obviously. And also let's go for a Goat Outrider to just not give him resources, but we will give him a gold because we gained it randomly, and also because we want to shield our scavengers, since he also has an attack with a skull. Let's see if he kills the Goat Outrider, if he tries to. He does not, so that's fine. Let's just kill the scavenger and hopefully he will not re-go in the hand, but it does. I should shut up really from now on. So probably next turn I want to go for a second Goat Outrider to actually retaliate a bit from the Satchel Bomb attacking us. Let's see, let's go for a Goat Outrider to retaliate a bit and hopefully kill also his stuff. So the Goat Outrider did not survive, but they did kill some of his stuff. So So now I probably want to go for a ceremonial dance whenever possible. It's a bit late, but it's still possible to go for it. Probably first I want to go for an Head of God, just to, and actually we can kill the assassin, which is nice, to just be a bit more threatening on the board, and when we can afford to just the tempo loss, when we can afford the tempo loss, we will go for a ceremonial dance, and that will assure that we will be very strong in the late game, which Mary is a really struggle zone already by definition, because they don't gain value when the time passes. They just get some really good cards instant use. So really, then let's just kill the apothecary, because I don't want him to restock poisons, and to heal is a bit, I don't care him healing, but anyway. So now I just want to wait until we can grab the ceremonial dance. If we get to ceremonial dance the shepherd, that's really huge. I don't know if the shepherd cancels the attack from the belladonna, because it's really not intercept, it's cancelled to attacks per turn, so I don't know that interaction. Let's go for a ceremonial dance, and probably a stampede, just because I don't want him to kill my Conjurer Dargret or even my Scavenger. We do redraw the Goat Outrider, which is nice. I don't care him attacking too much, because I can heal, and hopefully I will get even more resources to do that. He does kill the Conjurer Dargret, obviously. So let's go for another Scavenger. Actually, two more of them, because we have the ceremonial dance. Let's heal, because I don't want him to steal my food, and then I'll use the magic to attack, because I prefer to be aggressive rather than to be defensive, because if we just defend, eventually we will fall. Instead, if we attack, eventually we will win. So I prefer to use the magic to attack instead of healing, when possible, obviously. We do get the proc from the Wishing Coin, so we can grab a Scrivener to just get the Ceremonial Dance out. Also, let's just kill his Scavenger and Apothecary and attack as before with the magic. Let's see if the Goat Outrider survives. One of them survives, so that's actually nice. And with this Stampede we are threatening lethal. Also with the second one in the bank, really we do have lethal. Let's see if he needs to answer our board. If not, that's GG. He should kill the Goat Outrider and hopefully kill the other Scavengers. Also attack with the Sabotage if possible. So he's playing well. A Scavenger returns to the hand. So that's lethal, I think. Yes, that's lethal. So GG. In my opinion, this iteration of the deck is really better than the one we started off with. It has the potential to be really threatening on the early game, with some control of Herd of Goats and Scavenger, which will actually persist on the board, and just spam the Stampedes as much as possible if you get them. But really is more like a mid-range deck, where you have that aggressive potential in the start, but then you can get value with protecting your heirs with God Outrider, and protecting and also gaining value with the Shepherd even more. Then you have some ways to recover from a bad situation with the Repopulates, and you have a really 6-star, which always has been. It's not that aggressive, obviously, but it's really tempo oriented in the long term at least. And with the Ceremonial Dance and the Scrivener, and then basically doubling whatever you buy. Obviously the better choice to double cards are Shepherd and God Outrider, to gain a really sick defensive value. But obviously then you need to spam things like Herd of Goats, obviously, and Scavengers to grab some other resources. So I really think that this deck may not be meta, but it's probably the best possible Goat deck that you can build, at least in my opinion, obviously. And so yeah, I think that's it. So that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Be sure to leave down below a comment to let me know what you want to see in the next videos, and as always, see ya.